What is good people? You are now listening to another episode of Since We Last Spoke with Danny Foxworth. I am your humble narrator, Danny Foxworth, and today, once again, we have an extremely special guest. I've had the pleasure of having my parents on two occasions. Shout out to the deal. But I wanted to do another childhood stories episode, and I figured, you know what? I haven't had my sister on yet, so let me tag her along for this episode. So, with my guest today is my sister, Myra Foxworth. How are you doing this morning?
I am well, Bubba. I'm doing real good.
I appreciate your boy being on yet.
Man, listen, I ain't too happy.
So, what childhood stories do you have? I remember we were conversing back and forth, just pre-production, and
man, so many childhood stories. One of the first things that came to mind when you asked me, what stories I had on deck was the time I was talking to our grandmother. We call her Mama. Talking to Mama about some of her childhood stuff. And she was telling me about how she and her siblings used to fish for chickens off the back porch. And what that means is when they threw the chicken feed out, which was, corn, they would tie a string around one piece of corn. And when the chicken swallowed it, they would snatch it up on the porch. I was undone in a little.
I wasn't even familiar with that.
Oh, you didn't?
I knew about the other chicken technique.
Oh, yeah. And she said sometimes the corn would come out and sometimes they snatch the whole chicken up on the porch.
Wow.
And that was good fun, right? So then I thought about the fact that it immediately connected in my mind to a story Dad told us about how he used to take corn cobs and knock chickens out.
And that's the one I remember.
So he would do that, and he tried to teach one of his cousins how to do it. He says it was Johnny. Marshall says it was him.
Okay.
And so he had a technique. If Dad, when he tells the story, he's like, you had to have, and the chicken would
basically knock the chicken woozy.
Knock the chicken woozy.
Or knock the chicken out, so to speak.
But, well, whichever one of those cousins it was, he couldn't get the technique right. He got frustrated. He beat the chicken past the point of no return. And so in order to not get in trouble, they threw the chicken into the grape arbor so that nobody would find the chicken remains. Now, oh yeah,
I didn't know about that either.
Yeah, it was a dastardly tale. Statute of limitations, that you like to say.
Yeah.
But so when Mama told me the story, I connected the fact that she was every bit of mischief in our father came from her. And I said, so all that time, Daddy was getting in trouble because he acts just like you. And she threw her head back and laughed so hard, like he was undone. She didn't even apologize. She was like,
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Oh man, so this was close to the holidays, and we talked about this. We talked about this story ad nauseum,
Yes.
And it got brought back up yesterday at the Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes, it did.
Dad torturing you and I.
Oh my gosh.
On Christmas Day.
Christmas Day.
After we finished wrapping our gifts, or was it before?
It was unwrapped. We had just unwrapped the gifts, and we were about 30 minutes into concentrated playtime with brand new toys. And Dad goes, you know what? You know what needs to be done? You need to fill up the wood box.
Going outside in that cold ass air on Christmas Day.
On Christmas Day.
To get some firewood.
To get firewood.
How old were we? I had to be like maybe 7 or 8.
Maybe. So if you were 7 or 8, then I was 10 or 11.
Yeah.
We might have been slightly younger than that because the way Dad described you pushing that thing, you might have been 6. That feels right. 6 and 9 feels about right.
It's child labor for your ass, right?
Man. He was like, but you had the wagon. That's his defense. Well, you had the wagon. It was so cute to watch y'all. Years later into our adulthood, he says to us, I just did it to see what y'all was going to do. Abuse.
Yeah.
Just egregious nonsense.
So speaking of Christmas, what was your most memorable Christmases?
So it's 2 that I can think of. One Christmas was the year that I got the Barbie pool. and the Barbie, like the Dream Barbie, like bed, the same Chris. Oh, baby. And I had a velour tracksuit. Oh my God. Boy, I had money marbles a truck. You couldn't tell me nothing. Okay. The other one was, it was this one Christmas in particular. When we woke up that morning and we went into the living room, it looked like the whole entire living room was covered. That was the year we had those strawberry shortcake, big old canvas things. Also, there was just so much. Like there were nightgowns, and there was, I got my adoption doll that year, Lucy, because that was the year that everybody was fighting over those Cabbage Patches, like fist fighting. And Mom was like, "You can't have one of those," so she got me an adoption doll, which is actually way better made. That's Lucy.
I'm not familiar with adoption dolls.
No one is really.
Okay.
But it's a fully cloth doll, and she's gorgeous. She's the one that's in my office.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
So is it like akin to He-Man and Faker?
Yeah, man, it ain't even a Faker brand. Like Faker's a brand, at least. It's no.
Oh, okay.
No. This was pure. Yeah. Somebody enterprising was like, you know what? These Cabbage Patch dolls getting off the shelves. You know what I want to do? Make this doll an adoption doll. And Mom was like, let's run it. It came with a little adoption paper. I named her Lucy.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh,
boy, they had this thing thought out.
They was bootlegging before the internet. They was getting to it. And then but what I realized as an adult is so much of that was that Mom stayed up late at night, and she was like, she made so much of our stuff. She made so many of our clothes. Like,
yeah, she did.
Oh my gosh. Like, and I remember, you remember coming home after school sometimes and she just redid your whole room?
Yep.
Like, it was like, I'm talking about, see, some of it may have been that she was just disgusted with how we were keeping the room, to be fair. But like, you come home and it would be like a whole remake. Like, it'd be new curtains and a new bedspread and the whole nine. Like, and she'd do it for both of us at the same time. So we come home from school like on a random Wednesday and be like, oh. Though she also would take your toys that she felt like had been in the floor too long and make them disappear. Yeah,
that's a good point.
She would disappear. Like, you couldn't pull them out of the trash because they went on into the fire. It was done.
Either that, or I just would take him outside with me and leave him outside, and Dad would come home from work and run over him.
Okay, another story.
Yeah, let's go down that avenue.
I had a Tonka truck, right? Pink Tonka truck. Oh my gosh. They didn't make too many Tonka trucks geared to girls. Right? I had a pink Tonka Jeep. I love that thing. I could sit on it and scoot. And also Barbie could fit inside of it. It was perfect. It was my dream Jeep for me and for Barbie. We could, her luggage could go in the back. It was everything. And Danny was playing with it. And one day he left it outside and Dad backed over it. And we both got in trouble. And I was
that joker was flat.
My feelings was busted up. I was so hurt about that. Oh my God.
Didn't you have a Tonka dump truck too?
That was yours.
Okay. I think I left that outside too.
Yeah.
And I think Dad came home from work and ran over it because it was dark when he came home.
Oh my God.
I remember going, I don't know if he saw it. Well, he had to feel it. But yeah, I guess he left it there after the morning after, and I'm walking to the bus stop and I'm like, the hell happened to my Tonka truck?
It was a nice Tonka truck too.
Yeah.
It was a metal, but one of the nice big heavy ones. Yeah.
And then speaking of Christmas, talking about the Black Barbie, and you refreshed this in my memory about you had the Black Barbie and I had the Mr. T doll.
They were in a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I didn't know you knew.
No, I completely forgot about
I didn't know you knew, but my Black Barbie was dating Mr. T. She was, you know what I'm saying?
That Mr. T was swagged out too. I mean, he even had the feather earring that came with the doll, with the overalls and the chucks. Man, he was styling.
He was. Mr. T
he was a fashion icon. Dog had the truck jewelry.
Yeah, all of it. Somehow or another, his legs broke though, but because he was wearing overalls, the legs stayed attached. You don't remember that?
That was probably me being destructive. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was my calamity experimentation phase, I should say. I remember I had a Ric Flair doll Mom got me for Christmas.
Really?
Yeah. It was a Ric Flair and a Sting doll. Let me tell you what I did.
Oh God.
Mom, I guess wherever she was going to, she left the iron out. I plugged the iron in, and I just took the iron to Ric Flair's face to see what it would do. And like, he ain't have a face no more. I mean, he looked like a bald tire. There wasn't an ounce of tread on that face.
Okay.
And I don't think Mom ever knew about that. Yeah, that was.
You would have never got toys again.
Yeah, and I had to wait until the iron, got cold, and then I went and scraped what the remains of his face off of the undercarriage of the iron.
That's so grisly.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I was a destructive ass child.
You were. Any toy that I wanted to keep, I had to put it up high so that he couldn't climb up and reach it. Because I would come home from school and there would be at least 2 of my toys broken daily. And I would be like, y'all not keeping an eye on him? Like, what's going on? But here's the thing about Dan. Stealth. Always. Stealth, okay? He's like the G in lasagna, okay? Moving in silence at all times. He is not about to get caught. He's going to do whatever. He don't want nobody to disrupt whatever destruction he's finna listen. You would have been a cold assassin.
Word.
Yeah.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah.
So we also talked about getting caught doing something you had no business doing. And when you relayed this information to me, this is also information that I was not privy to. So you share your story and then I'll share mine.
So snuck into Jungle Fever as an underage human being. One of our cousins had a boyfriend who was a little older, so he bought our tickets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then, that we went around the corner from the box office. So he handed us our tickets out, we gave them, and then we went in to see it. That is not an appropriate movie for a middle school child to be watching. It was not. I'm talking about, and from the gate, you were like, I don't have no business in here. And you knew it. Yeah.
So when Mom found out, well, how did she find out?
I told her because I felt guilty. But here's the thing. It wasn't even so much that. It was that she had a meeting she had to get to, and I was late getting to the pickup point. Oh, my God. And the look on her face, I just felt so bad. Like, I still have, that much guilt about it still, because as an adult now, and I have meetings, the thought that my child would make me, I'd be like, man, Mom, I'm sorry. I'd be apologizing, Mom, all the time. Now I'd be like, woo.
Actually, I got 2. Similar to yours. I went to go see Boys in the Hood. And it was at a theater. It was no longer around. There's a Chucktown staple. It was called the Pine Haven Cinema. It was by the Navy shipyard. But it was me. Remember Tyrone Simmons?
No.
From Blue Bethel, Keisha's?
Oh, yes.
Went with him.
Shut up.
Like a couple of other people. And we snuck in and watched, had no business watching it. I was like 11 years old. Like seeing Uzis and Ricky getting shot. That was a lot for an 11-year-old to digest.
Yeah.
And from a music standpoint, I remember the first Naughty by Nature album just come out, and a friend of mine, actually no, Kendall dubbed me a copy of it. And there was one song on it. I can't remember the name of the song, and Tretch has a line where he goes, "Joy, you rhyming motherfuckers thinking I can't get thinking you can't get what'd he say? Joy, you rhyming motherfuckers thinking that I can't get what you put a dick in your mouth and when it's out, tell me the temperature." Now, just to set the scene up, whenever our parents would go out on a Saturday, you could gauge where they were going by 2 reactions, by the way they phrased it. If they said, "We'll be back directly," that means they're going amongst corner and coming right back. If Mom and Dad said, "We'll be back after a while," that means they're gonna be out for a minute. They're going out to Charleston.
That's true.
So they said, "All right, Danny, we'll be back after a while. See you later." All right. And soon as I looked out the window to see them leave, I went straight to the home stereo system.
Oh, God.
Got that Naughty by Nature cassette in, and I had the volume up to 30, jamming in the house. Now, just to paint the picture for the setup of the house, my room is on the opposite end of the den. So there's a hallway to go straight from my room to the den. And then if you look straight ahead, there's a small side door that goes into the garage. So this song is on. I'm in my kitchen getting a glass. I was going to get me some Kool-Aid. And I'm rapping along with it. Toy, you ramen motherfuckers thinking that I can't get with you. And as I'm making my way down the hallway, the part where Tretch says, put a dick in your mouth, I'm looking straight ahead with the cup in my hand, straight ahead at that side door, and I see that brass knob slowly start to turn, and I'm like, oh my God. I mean, I was like Sonic the Hedgehog getting to that stereo system trying to cut it off, but it was too late. It was too late.
Tragedy.
Yes.
Which one was it?
Which one?
Which parent?
Oh, it was Mom.
Ooh.
And she said, oh, what the hell you let that go? and I just immediately burst into tears. And man, she took my Genesis.
Oh, damn.
Oh my gosh. She took my Genesis from me for like 3 months. I mean, granted, rightfully so.
They didn't play by punishment. It was not no 1 week sentence. I gotta, okay. Much younger than you.
Okay.
I was listening to Morris Day and the Time, and they had a song called Walk. And that was my jam. And I was on the back porch. I was little. You were probably born, but you was probably a lap baby this time. But the lyrics were 1, 2, 3, 4. What the hell are we fighting for? Walk. And I was back there jamming. The music wasn't even on. I was just back there singing it.
Yeah.
Because I had an 8-track with it. And Daddy was like, girl, what are you singing? Nothing. But do you remember when we were in the van with Mom and Donkey Butt came on?
No.
Oh my God. So we had just pulled up at the house. Mom was letting us listen to, the little urban radio station.
Shout out Z93 Jams.
Yeah, Z93 Jams. Man. And just as we pull into the garage, give me that donkey butt and them big old legs. I ain't too hard to beg. Ain't no shame in this game. Oh, break it down, beg like that, please. Please. Look, and Mom said, oh, God. What is that?
I don't remember that at all.
You held it in, and when your pants went open, you went down the hall so fast. Could you handle Oh God.
You just want to see a mom's reaction. Which, similar to that, I remember Dad was riding with me somewhere and had the radio on, and my back came on. And we sat through the whole song. When the song went off, Dad looked out the window, and then he looked back at me. He goes, well, at least she knows what she wants. I almost pulled the car over. I was not expecting that kind of response from him. But hey, I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
Man, so man, you also talked about that Christmas when we got the stilts and the pogo stick.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So we got stilts and the pogo stick. And Danny was on the pogo stick getting he was gone. And I was like, all right, let me get into these stilts. I'm gonna figure this out. Got on the stilts. And stilts is not something you just jump on and walk. as I soon realized. So I'm falling forward, and I'm falling backwards. And I'm falling forward, and I'm falling backwards. Now, Mama's house is right in front of ours. We old school. We got kind of a compound. So it was Mama's house, then our house, and then our uncle lived behind us. About 3 acres of land. And so Mama's looking at her back door. She sees us. She's probably 65 at this point. And she comes out and she's like, oh yeah, I know how to walk on those. And I was like, again, this is the woman who's full of mischief. You never know what I mean? She got on them stilts and just took off across the yard like she was walking on regular ground. And I was like
a fish to water.
Oh my gosh. And she was like, oh yeah, so-and-so taught me how to do this. And she talked about how in the field, they would find trees in the field that had a particular, they had to have a branch like that. so that you would have a place to put your foot. So they would cut it off and make stilts. And then that was fun times.
And she taught me how to walk on stilts.
Man, when you told me that blew my mind.
That's one of my hidden talents.
Danny Foxworth.
I can walk on stilts. Man. And we're going to go ahead and get into the 5 question segment.
Okay.
So first and last question is the same question I ask every guest I have on here.
Okay.
Questions 2 through 4, 100% random. So question number 1, what were your go-to school lunch items?
Man, you already know that fiestada.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had to lay fries in the middle of that and sprinkle pepper on it and roll it up.
So it wasn't just me.
Oh no.
I didn't know you did that too.
Oh man. That and don't let me have 2 honey buns. Oh man, it was like payday. But they had to be the honey buns from the ROTC window or from the small cap.
Yeah, I guess this again, statute of limitations, the amount of snacks that I stole from the ROTC commissary. Because I was in ROTC my 9th grade year.
Uh-huh.
But because mom was like, you should go in the ROTC because you could possibly get a scholarship. Oh, I just being in that hot ass sun with them thick fabric pants. We used to call ROTC rotten old Thursday clothes.
Okay.
Every Thursday we had to wear a uniform, and yeah, I got so many demerits. It's not even funny.
Oh,
but yeah, I remember I used to pocket some of the snacks out of the commissary, and I'd sell them on the school bus.
I remember hearing you talk about that on another podcast. Yeah. I was like, this boy, he been bad as hell his whole life.
So question number 2, what was your favorite class of FAMU?
Ooh, favorite class at FAMU was Intro to Religion with Professor Ronald Library.
So what did you enjoy most about it?
He was an amazing professor. Like he was so engaging. I went on and minored in religion because I just went on and took every class he took. He taught because that man he would start the class all, tucked in and everything. By the time he got done teaching, his shirt tail was all out of his pants from him moving around and stuff like. And he told us about things that like really like cooked your noodle as like a religious student, like the fact that Jesus wasn't Christian. I was like, oh, Drew, what? He was like, Jesus didn't create Christianity. He was like, that was Paul. And I was like, boy, now you're telling me something. Because when you think about it, he was like, no, Jesus was a Jew. He was like, he was a revolutionary.
Yeah.
But he was Jewish. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I will say shout out to Mom, excellent Sunday school teacher. Once upon a time, we had an exam in his class. And he was like, I would give anyone 10 extra points on your exam if you can answer me what it means when I can't remember who it was. He was in the cave and he covered his feet. And I said he went to the bathroom. And he was like, how do you know that? I was like, because my mom is an excellent teacher.
Hey. Question number 3. What was the first time you tried something and said to yourself, I'm not 18 anymore?
Golly. Probably the last time I tried to do a split. Like, yeah. Or the last time I tried to drop it low and stand straight up. No, indeed. There's a way to do it, but it ain't standing straight up no more.
And question number 4, what's your favorite condiment?
Favorite condiment? Sriracha.
Good call. I was super late to the game on sriracha. But yeah, you can't go wrong with sriracha.
Sriracha is bad. It is.
It wasn't until fairly recently, too. It had it set up on the table at the oyster roast, and I tried it. I was like, oh, that's the business right there. Yeah.
You got to be moderate, but oh my gosh.
I would have to say my favorite condiment is spicy brown mustard.
Okay.
It's got to be Gildan's. Okay.
Good choice.
And then question number 5, what was the last thing that really made you laugh?
I mean, it was right here with you.
Oh, man. So, you got anything you want to plug or promote?
Let's see. Sweet Fox 1926 is my business. I do Christmas ornaments, Christmas wreaths, and statement earrings, like those featured here. Everything's lightweight because my ears can't take a whole lot of weight. So I like drama that doesn't weigh you down. That's what I say. Also, I want to promote emotional intelligence. It is never too late for you to work on yourself, your emotional intelligence, IQ, and just be a better person. Just, yeah, no matter how great you think you are, there's something else to learn.
For sure. And where can people find this Sweet Fox 1926 site?
All over the internet. Sweetfox1926.com. It's named after our grandfather, our papa. Sweet Fox was his nickname. 1926 is the year he was born. So sweetfox1926.com. That's me on Instagram, Facebook, the Twitterverse, though I'm not on there that much.
There you go. And man, this was a long time coming, but I'm glad we got to chop it up in real life.
Man, me too.
It was like an away game, so to speak, because I was like, since I'm coming up to Memphis, you know what? Let me bring the show on the road, so to speak. And man, this was a treat. This really was a treat. So make sure y'all like, download, and subscribe to Since We Last Spoke with Danny Foxworth. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel at Danny Foxworth 843. You can find all the video versions of my podcast episodes for Since We Last Spoke and At the Plate with Danny Foxworth. And for Sissy and myself, this has been another episode of Since We Last Spoke. And until next time, y'all be good. Peace.